Hey guys, how's it going? I just wanted to hop on here a little bit mostly because I want to do something else that's not a live stream on Instagram. I don't know how I feel about those live streams. Sometimes there's people I know, and sometimes there's nobody that I know, and I don't know. I feel like when people pop in, I get a little bit distracted by what's going on. So I wanted to see if I can at least keep one track mind this time. Although I'm not a very one track minded person. I think that's what it's called. I don't know. But I wanted to maybe hop on here and answer some questions just so you guys can get to know me a little bit. I really don't have a lot of questions. I have a few, so I don't know. So it might be a really short video. Maybe I can post it on my podcast, which I have one episode on that right now. If you do a little digging, you can probably find it. Anyway, I got my phone here, my little kitty cat. I really like that cat. I just got it. It's not the best quality pop socket, but it's cute. So I'm gonna answer some questions about maybe dance stuff and then maybe some travel stuff. So how long have I been dancing and how did I find out about it? So I've been dancing for I think about 9 years now, and the style that I do it's very fusion, and a lot of the people I follow are straight ballet dancers or they're straight tribal fusion dancers, but I kind of do a mix of the two because I did have some teachers who did some of both. And I also have training in other things as well. So I kind of wanted to do a little bit of everything because there are so many cultures out there, and I have learned so much different dance styles from so many different types of teachers that I feel like it's important to start fusing these kinds of things together so that people can understand that there are other cultures out there than just their own, interesting cultures that you can kind of bring together to create a dance piece. Anyway, so yeah, 9 years ago, I remember I was in college. I was trying to take a class for my what was it, like a health and wellness credit or something, which was like a gen ed. So most people would take PE or they would take social dance or something, and I ended up taking ballet. It was between ballet and jazz, and I was like, well, ballet is a good basic fundamental, so I'll start with that one. I wonder where my life would have been if I started with jazz. It's an interesting thought. Yeah, I remember I took a ballet class because I had wanted to be part of one of the triple threats. I wanted to be in for theater. I wanted to be a dancer, an actress, and a singer. So I already had the acting thing down because I'd been on stage since I was 7, and I did little parts here and there. A lot of Shakespeare, and maybe that's just because my area. I don't know what other areas are like. I'm a small town girl, but I remember I kind of wanted to travel for theater, so I was like, well, maybe if I have all of these different things under my belt, I'd be able to do that one day. Because in high school, I had a director who traveled for the theater, a traveling theater group, basically, and I thought that was the coolest thing. My dog is messing with the blinds right now. Fala. What are you doing? She's going crazy. She just farted. Oh my gosh, she might be hungry. Or she might just want treats because she likes to eat food a lot, all the time. She's always eating. Anyway, so yeah, I was in the ballet class, and I decided I liked it and I wanted to continue with dance. So I asked to check out the dance class or the dance rehearsals for the company, and then she just invited me and said that I was the newest dancer at the dance company, and I never auditioned, So that was kind of fun. And so after that, I learned a lot of ballet and like just kind of different types of dance. Like we didn't do just ballet or modern, we did multiple different kinds of dances for this dance company. And I remember they put me in a tutu, and I was really mad that they put me in a tutu, because I was like, I never wanted to be that kind of dancer to wear a tutu, and like I'm realizing how yellow I look from this light, so I might have to redo this. I don't know, it's fine. Yeah, it's just this light, but if I turn it off, it might be dark. It's really dark. I don't like that so much. Okay. Whatever. It's really cloudy outside, and it's like 6:30, and in September, and when it's 6:30 in September, it's dark and cold all day, and then tomorrow it's supposed to be like 80 degrees. Weird. I love living in the Midwest. Anyway, so yeah, with this dance company, we were performing everywhere, and then we did a lot of like local things as well. And so I remember one festival we had been invited to dance. It was all of the different companies in the school, I think. So it was the dance company, the tap kick line, and maybe African was there. I don't know if African was like a thing at that time. It could have been. And then I think the belly dancers were there, and I remember looking up and I knew one of the girls, but like I saw the belly dancers and I was just like in awe, like drooling and everything. And I tell this story all the time. I was just like, I couldn't believe how beautiful they were. I'd never seen dance like that, and I was probably like 19, 18 or 19 at this time, I think. Actually, I might have been 18 when I started dancing. That's interesting. I always thought I was 19. I think it was 19. I don't remember. I think it was 18 or 19 when I saw them, and I was like, oh my god, they're so beautiful. So I messaged the teacher later that summer, and I was like, I would love to get involved in this, but I was taking too many classes, so I did have to drop it. So I decided to take it off campus, and that's where everything started. Her name was Ruby Desire, and she's really well known within like the dance world for my dancers. Belly dance, I guess. I'm so out of it right now. But yeah, I danced with her for 4 years, like through college. I think I found out about them like the summer after my freshman year. So I started that fall, like August or September. I think it was closer to September. And then I danced all the way through college with her. Sometimes I would be able to do dances where it was just me, or I would be able to use it for my honors course or something. I used a lot of dance classes for my honors course, which is for my honors degree certificate thing, which, I mean, it worked out because look at me now, I'm still dancing, which is great. And a lot of people who I knew were dancers growing up, nobody's dancing. Like, really very few people. And that's crazy to me. It's like, if you don't stick with it, it's very hard for people to stick with it anymore. And I can't believe that I've continued with it, but I've met so many people over the years who have taught me and who have influenced me to continue going, even when I'm not feeling so great about myself. So, and even like, especially when you're not feeling so great about yourself, because dance is what gives you confidence, you know, it makes you happy, it raises your endorphins and all that. But yeah, so I remember joining the dancers, and I was like, oh, like I was just talking to somebody the other day who like kind of is in and out with dance sometimes, and she and I were talking, and she was like, I remember when you were just a baby dancer and you didn't think that you could do any of this, and look at you now. And I was like, I know, like, it's crazy. And I worked really hard to get where I am. I made a lot of sacrifices to be able to meet the people that I do, in the places that I do. You know, it's just me, and I have a cat and a dog, and that's my family, you know. And I've moved to cities to study with dancers, and then I've moved back, and I now go across the world to study with dancers, and it's so much. I'm excited for where I can go, and I really want to meet other people out there. So I don't know, I guess I also wanted to be on here because I wanted to see if there's anybody else out there who'd be interested in just like, you know, traveling the world and dancing and being able to like teach dance and like teach the good side about dance, especially our dance style, because it's sometimes frowned upon because people aren't portraying it the best way. If you can hear her, she's chowing down on her bone. And so I had this other question, what is your mission? And for me, my mission is to empower people. You know, most dancers, I feel like they have that mission to empower people. But for me, I have a different reason why I continue with dance, even if sometimes I feel like it's really hurting me. But I feel like dance really saved my life. I wasn't doing so well in high school. I didn't think I was going to make it to 18, and now I'm almost 30. So I think dance really helps to inspire others. And it's hard for me to watch dancers who don't have a lot of passion behind what they're doing. But the ones who do, you can see it in their soul and the way that they dance, their moves. You can feel everything that's coming out of their fingertips, every point, you know, and every turn. You can feel that vibration. And just magic and sunshine and goodness and safety. That's why I dance. It's what makes me feel safe, what makes me feel good about myself. It gives me courage, and it gives me strength to be myself, no matter how weird I am, because I am very strange, and it took me a long time to accept it, but I'm here and I accept that, and I feel good about myself. I don't have to wait until I'm much older to realize that I'm okay being who I am. And I wanted to teach other dancers that. And also it helps to free yourself from different emotions like grief and depression and anxiety, and those are kinds of things that it helps me with, especially with my grief and my depression. I feel like I dance better when I'm depressed or when I'm grieving, because it is all that pain, so much pain, that I want to get out, and I want to free myself of that energy, you know. And sometimes the only way to free yourself of that energy is to move. And so I want to inspire people that when they do feel really hard feelings, to move, to do something about it, to exercise, you know, whatever it is that puts them in a meditative state. It doesn't have to be dance, it doesn't have to be exercise. I just know that exercise does like help with endorphins. So I want to teach that, because I have lost some people who maybe they lost the light, and that sucks. Like it really does. And I thought I was going to, so when I found dance, I think it's incredible that I'm able to be that inspiration. You know, I hope to be that inspiration to people sometime. But honestly, the last year I did stop dancing, probably for the longest time that I'd ever stopped dancing. And I was back and forth because I was very much into my emotions, and like I wasn't in the best place after graduating college, because I was kind of on my own in a different city. I didn't know too many people, and the friends that I made weren't the friends that I wanted to have necessarily, until like towards the end I kind of started to meet people that I actually connected with at one of my jobs, and then I ended up leaving that job and traveling the country, and then I went back and I got another job, which I had for another 2 years, but I was still dancing, and I was a really good dancer at that time. And then somebody said something. Actually, the first time I left that city, someone said something to hurt me and to hurt my friends, and they were trying to control me as a dancer, and I was like, kind of talking to one of my dance moms in a way, and I was just like, I don't know how to get out of this. And for me, the only way to escape somebody trying to control me was to travel the country, you know, kind of find myself out there. I tried, and I was on a trip with my friend's brother. So, and that was a very hard time for me. And I didn't do a lot of dancing then because I was a little bit embarrassed and I lost some confidence. And but then I came back and I started to gain my confidence back. Maybe it was for the wrong reasons. But I was still getting it back. It was still who I was, you know, for the most part. And then somebody else said something and I lost a friend. You know, a lot of stuff just kind of happened. It was in the last year. Someone who was hosting an event said something to me and my friend that really kind of destroyed us, and this person was trying to tear me and my dance friends apart, and you really can't do that with, like, there's so few of us that we need to come together and be like a family. We need to stand up for each other and stick up for each other. And when some people are in it for the wrong reasons and some people don't see that, you know, it's like there's wars happening. You can't really stop it. You don't really know what's going on. And again, I left the city, and I traveled the East Coast. I went down, I went to Salem for Halloween because that was around the time that I'd left. And I remember I was gone for maybe a week and a half, and just camping all the way to Salem. I saw Niagara Falls with my puppy, and then we came back. And then I may have gone down south sometime around that time. I think I went to Tennessee or something. So, but I went back to that city and I was like, I'm not happy. Winter was starting and I was like, I have to get out of here. So I ended up moving midwinter. And then so January came, I went back home, had a job for a couple months, but it wasn't what I had wanted. And then I had one of my professors die, my mentor, you know, and that was really hard too, because she died of cancer, and it was the first time I had ever lost anybody to cancer. And like, ever since then, I've been a little bit more sensitive. I feel like I've always been sensitive, but now it's like I can actually kind of understand my sensitivity a little bit more, and I'm okay with it now. But yeah, when I lost this professor of mine, you know, that was a hard one. And I left my job again, and I traveled. I needed to leave that job anyway. But yeah, and what happened after that? I think I went back home. I signed up for a dance class, and then I went to Greece. It was actually the second time I went to Greece. I went last year too, and I'll talk about that later. But yeah, in Greece it was a good learning opportunity for me this year, much more than it was last year. Last year I made some friends. It was great. You know, I was introduced to the idea of traveling for dance, and I loved that. And then this year I was able to learn some stuff for myself, and it was good that it had happened. There were a lot of tears shed during the second week that I was in Greece, after the retreat that I went on, which was the first week. And then I went back home for a week. And then I flew out to Austin, Texas, and I danced some more, and I met an amazing woman who we didn't really talk too much during this week of dancing, but after we returned home from that, I was able to talk to her, and she kind of helped me to understand how to deal with my emotions, that I don't need to necessarily control them. And she helped me to understand that it's okay to let them go, because it's natural. And I've actually had this same learning tip, life tip, I don't know, repeated to me so many times this year by different people, and for some reason only a couple of people it really hit home. One of them actually was our cook from Greece. Her name was Elena. She's so sweet, and there's a whole story about her that I'd like to talk about sometime, but not on this one. It's already like a 20-minute video. I don't know if anyone's gonna make it to the end. I wanted to just do an introduction and just kind of bring you to the now, you know, why I started this YouTube video, or this YouTube channel, and like hopefully I can continue with it. I really like, I know some of the videos aren't the best quality, but I just kind of wanted to get into the rhythm of actually uploading some stuff. And now that I'm getting better at dancing, I'm gonna start probably uploading some things onto here, and then I don't know, we'll see what happens, I guess. Yeah, but if you want, I'm mostly on Instagram at Dance with Zosia. I also have a travel page, which is Sophia the Wanderluster, wander with an A, Sophia with the PH, but I mostly do dance and travel right now instead of just travel. I don't know, I'm doing a lot right now, so I'm probably not going to be super consistent with videos as much as I know that I should be. I suck at being consistent, but I'm gonna try, and maybe it'll be easier for me to do these than to do lives, so we'll see. And maybe I can figure out like how not to be yellow when it's dreary outside. Maybe I can just change the light bulb. I don't know. If you have any questions, let me know. Yeah, I just want to start making videos about stuff and like travel. I'll talk more about travel, but I don't know. See you later, guys.